Hi, everyone. It's Amanda with the Content Marketing Institute. Thank you so much for joining me once again for our Monday Ask the CM World Community live stream. You can find us here Mondays at noon Eastern in the US. And each week we dive into a new topic with an awesome guest from our CM World community. And this week is no different. This live stream is brought to you by the Content Marketing Institute. If you don't know what CMI is, we are the leading training and education organization for all things content marketing. And we run a couple of really great events. And one of them is actually coming up, ContentTECH Summit, in just a few weeks, March 22nd through the 24th. And a very sunny San Diego. So over the next few weeks, we will be chatting with some of our content tech speakers during this live stream. We'll be diving into their sessions a little bit to kind of give you a preview of what you can expect. If you stick around here for the end of the live stream, I will share a special discount code with you to save on your registration. All right, as always, as we get started here, you can feel free to check in. Please give me a virtual wave, say hello, let me know where you are joining us from. It really makes for a great engaging live stream when we hear from all of you. So if you have any questions or any comments as we go along today, please feel free to drop them into the comments. So today we are talking about content tools a little bit. So the question I have is, it has me wondering, what are some of your favorite tools to create, promote, distribute content? What tools can't you live without? I'd love to hear from you. If you would love to share that, you can drop it in the comments. Okay, today's topic, we are talking, like I said, the tools you need to solve your most pressing content challenges. And today's guest joining me is Zontee Ho. She is the founder and of the digital marketing agency Media Valerie. She is the head of strategy for Convince and Convert, which is led by Jay Bear. She has 15 years of marketing industry experience, including work for IMF, the UN Food and Agriculture Organization, Allstate, Indiana University, and many more. Hello, Zontee. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, Amanda. So happy to be here.
Awesome. So we have people joining us. We have Jessica from New York, so she's joining us from there as well. Nicole from West Bloomfield Township in Michigan. San Diego, another one's joining us for San Diego. So you can tell us how sunny it is there, because we are freezing here in the East Coast in the Midwest. Lori from Montgomery, Alabama. Someone from Houston, Texas, and Peru. So hello, everyone. Like I said, the question of the day, what are some of your favorite content tools? We're going to be talking a little bit about that today, so feel free to drop that in the comments. Okay, Zontee, first question. What are some of the most pressing content challenges that you see marketers facing these days that would, benefit from some better tools?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that one of the studies that I love to cite is from Clear Voice. They asked about 3,000 content marketers what is their biggest challenge, and it was an open-ended question, so people could say whatever they wanted. And the things that we heard time and time again were time and production challenges. Those are some of the most common issues. And then, of course, CMI put out their B2C report just recently, and respondents said that their two top content marketing challenges were creating content that appeals to different segments of customers. So that's really about content relevance, and then internal communications between teams and silos. So that's really about that internal communications and being able to manage workflows. I think those are definitely some of the issues that I hear about most frequently from my clients, which are, really across the board in both B2B and B2C enterprise businesses. And so when you think about things like content relevance, internal communications, time and production challenges, those are definitely places where having the right tools can be a real boon, because they can help you to either streamline those processes or get people better aligned by making sure that you have all the information in front of you and available in one place. Now, when we think about those things, one of the things that we don't necessarily see is measurement, but I think that's another set of challenges that content marketers often face on an ongoing basis, and it's just underlying all the time. So that's another place where I always feel that there are a lot of opportunities for tools and technology to support us.
Definitely. I know those are, like you said, big problems with marketers. So when you are looking to, purchase a new tool or use a new tool, what are some things to consider? And of course, how does the budget, everyone loves that. How does that play into those decisions as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that one of the things that's really great about the moment that we're in right now is that there are a lot of different tools at a lot of different budget price points. So I certainly think that coming to the table with your specific expectations of what exactly you need to meet in terms of your budget is totally okay. That you will be able to find and adapt tools for that process. The questions that I would recommend that people think about and ask when they are shopping around for tools are, does it address our specific challenges? So again, we just talked about four really common challenges, but what are the challenges that your team faces day to day? And what are the questions that you need to ask in order to identify the specific elements of that tool to address things? So is that, it's really easy for our team to onboard. Is it the right skill set? Does it allow us to communicate in the way that we want? Is it as immediate as we want it to be? Those are things that can be really important. The other thing I want you to think about is it the right size for our team's needs and skills? Some clients of mine, they will get a much more expensive tool because they're like, this has absolutely every feature. But if your team is only using 2 out of like 200 features, then it's probably not the right size tool for you. And this is a place where you could probably downscale, use something more efficient, and then have some budget freed up for other opportunities. I think that if you do a lot of test driving for new tools, whether that's actually if they have a free trial, I think that's a great opportunity to play within the sandbox. But also, if they are allowed to, show you a really robust demo or even have you walk through it with a current client and you can see how they are using it, you'll get a better sense of what are the opportunities within a particular tool. And I think that those are really helpful for getting at those questions of, does it address that specific set of challenges that we face day to day?
Yeah, and I was going to say, I love the idea of like working like an existing client and see how they use it. But also, you know, training plays into that. So you do get a tool. I find a lot of times you get this really robust tool and then it can do all these things and maybe you want to use it, but it's like there's so much you don't even know where to start, right? So training
Yeah.
is so important, right?
That's absolutely right. I think that it's important to invest in the training piece, make sure that onboarding process, again, really gives all of your team members the skills that they need in order to use the tool the best that they can. But I think also identifying one or two champions within your organization who are going to become experts at some of those more advanced pieces of a particular tool, that can be really helpful. So for instance, my team uses some tools for project management like Airtable and Teamwork, and those have some advanced functionalities that can be really helpful. Now, not everybody on our team is an expert at that, but we have a couple of people who've spent some additional time to get really familiar with those possibilities, and so they're able to be more informative to the rest of the team. And similarly, even with content production tools, whether that's graphics or video or animation, if you have a couple of people on your team who are really more well versed in the tool, then that can be really empowering for the rest of your team because they have someone to go to immediately on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very important. If you're just joining us, we have Zontee Ho with Convince and Convert. We're talking the best tools to tackle your top content challenges. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to drop them. Andy Robinson says, I also think that tools that help with transparency are particularly important. Get us out of email and let everyone see the whole process. I think that's a great point as well.
Yeah, that's definitely a really good point. I think that gets at this challenge of those silos, right? A lot of organizations face communications gaps internally. And if you have a tool that, again, allows you to record all of these interactions between team members who are reviewing pieces in one place and then allows them to actually go back and look at the history of a project, find related tools, links, files, etc., it makes it easier for people to feel like they're in the loop and that they have a resource for that. That's certainly something that on the Media Valerie team, we have worked really hard to develop, and same with the Convince and Convert team, making sure that we have those internal tools that really help not just project manage, but project track, I think is really helpful.
I agree. That's a good point. All right, since we're talking tools, let's say, what are your top 3 favorite tools right now that you're using or your clients are using?
Yeah, I mean, there are so many tools that we use across a wide variety of areas. So I'm just going to name 3 that I think we touch just about every day, if not at least every week. The first is addressing that team communications challenge, because we both on the Media Valerie side as well as the Convince and Convert side are fully remote now. It's really important to us that communications is made really simple and straightforward. One tool that we use at Media Valerie that I think is great is called Pesto. It's currently in a free beta, and it is basically a virtual office space. So there are individual offices that team members can pop into to work together, but then you can also video chat, chat people directly, send files, interact, and even play games together on this platform. And what we really like about it is that it has a sense of place, whereas something like a Slack or like a Google Chat, I think is okay, but it's really more focused on the chat functionality and the topics. And what I think we really wanted was that sense of togetherness. So people being in the same room working together or having quiet work time together. And so we really like Pesto for that reason. And it's definitely a fun and very cute tool to use as well. So that's a good one on the team comms side. My second favorite tool that we touch just about every day that's really great for small teams and smaller content marketing teams especially, but we also have enterprise clients who are using it, is Canva. And I think Canva has been really smart about expanding their library of templates. So if you're not familiar with it, it's a graphic design tool that has a lot of built-in templates, and they have added a lot of libraries of content directly within the platform. So you don't even have to leave the Canva tool to find stock images, stock graphics, things like that, that you could actually incorporate into both your still images as well as video now. And although it's a limited video tool, it's not nearly as robust as, say, like an Adobe Premiere or something like that. Canva does have a lot of functionality that allows those people who are a little bit more novice to work on projects. And it has a pretty good set of collaboration tools as well. So I definitely recommend that as a good starting point for any team that is looking to add more visual interest to their content. Or again, if you're on many different disparate platforms right now, but looking to consolidate and looking to really get into one specific place for your graphics creation, that can be a really good uniting tool. So that's my second tool. And then I would say that my third favorite tool that we use all the time, and this again goes back to that idea of internal communications and also for us client communications, is a tool called Snagit, which is from one of our Convince and Convert clients, TechSmith. And so Snagit is a tool that allows you to take screenshots, screen captures, short videos of things that are happening on your computer, and then be able to share that with other team members, with your clients, etc. You can even upload them into social media, and it allows you to really annotate those videos. So if I want to say show people a particular example of a great website or a landing page, I can grab that really easily using Snagit. I can mark it up. I can add my own voiceover. I can add my own notes or video content into it, and then send that off to somebody so that they can really see exactly what I'm talking about. And I think that that's one of the advantages right now of the technology that we have, right, is that although we can't necessarily always be together, we can do a better job of sharing information in a way that's easy for somebody else to absorb. And I think that's a really great example of a tool that lets you do that.
Yeah, that's a big challenge now, right? Can't just walk across and show somebody something. You have to figure out how to do that over Zoom or meetings or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Andy had a question. She says, how do you feel about all-in-one tools versus those that go deep in a specific functionality?
Yeah, that's a great question. And this goes back to my point about right sizing the tools for your team, right? If you are a team that knows that you want really high production value video, for instance, you're going to want to invest in the Adobe Creative Suite because there are a lot of things that you can do in terms of advanced animations. And certainly, we have had video editors on our team where that's where they want to work because they want to create these very, very custom, very specific kinds of animations, title sequences, etc. That's fantastic if you have those resources and you know that you want to dedicate the time to that kind of production. Whereas if your team is a lot of generalists who are not necessarily going to have that skill set, it's probably more valuable to have a tool that has some built-in templates and is quicker on that production side, right? So that's on the content creation side, but this really applies to whether it's data analytics or even project management. I think it really depends on that set of parameters. What are you coming to the table needing to achieve? And therefore, which one do you pick? I think, again, there are some situations where you will want to go really deep because you know that there's a worthwhile time and investment for your organization in that space. But in a lot of cases, for a lot of teams, those all-in-one tools give you at least the breadth of items that you want to get started with. And then you can pick maybe one or two areas where you're like, we need to go much deeper in those areas. And then I would go with some more advanced tools specific to those functionality areas.
All right, great question. All right, looking ahead here, I want you to get out your crystal ball. What technologies do you think marketers should really be investing in or looking to invest in this year and maybe even beyond?
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny because in some ways I think that I'm really a broken record from the last 2 years. Some of the areas that I think are really important are, of course, this multimedia piece, right? You guys know as well as I do that we're moving more and more and more towards video, that video is such an important way to communicate. You're watching a live stream right now. TikTok has really changed the game. There are a lot of people who are engaging with video content, whether it's on Twitter or Facebook or LinkedIn. So really thinking through, do we have the tools for multimedia content production is really important. And multimedia also because it's not just video, right? It's making sure that we have the tools that allow us to do audio content, to take that audio content or video content, to transcribe it and turn it into the blog content that we still want on our websites. All of that is an ecosystem. So I think really being aware of where your organization is lacking in terms of multimedia content is important. That's a great place for you to be investing right now.
Mhm.
I also think that measurement is something that continues to be a challenge for marketers, as I mentioned at the top of our conversation. I think that the more your team can identify what are your measurement challenges, we have enough information from what our sales team sends out, or do we have enough information on how people use our website, or is our social and paid really important and therefore we really need to invest in those technologies. Identify the places where you still have holes, and those are the places that I would definitely recommend that you focus, because quite frankly, it's 2022. We've been saying this for at least 5 years that measurement is so important to the way that we're doing the content marketing that we're creating every day. I think that we absolutely have to invest there. And then if you're already doing those things, you're like, listen, we're really good at measurement, we're really good at multimedia, then I think that the places that I would recommend that you go are dynamic ad surveying. So if you're not doing really dynamic ad generation, creating lots of iterations of different paid advertising in the digital space, that's something that I would definitely invest in. I think that's a real opportunity. And then testing tools, the more different versions that you can create that allow you to get more nuanced with your content, with your landing pages, with your emails, with your multimedia content. I think those are really great opportunities that for the more advanced marketer who's like, we're really set on basic things, you can be more future looking if you really set yourself up for success in terms of testing and that dynamic advertising.
All right, that's awesome. Thank you so much, Zontee, for joining me today. As I said, she'll be speaking at our ContentTECH Summit. Let me pop this up here. So we just touched a little bit on your presentation today. Is there anything else you want to add about what people can expect from your session?
So there are a ton of tools that we have not talked about in today's live stream that I will be sharing at my session at ContentTECH. I'm going to be there all week at the event, so I hope to see you there. If you see me walking around, please say hello. Let me know if you have any questions. Happy to answer them in person.
What is your some of your favorite things about ContentTECH? Like, it's definitely smaller than content marketing world. Why do you like ContentTECH?
I think that ContentTECH is fantastic because it is a more intimate and focused event. And so you can get really hands-on with the experts, really get your questions answered, and really focus on those different areas of technology that are really important to you in your day-to-day work as a content marketer. Again, it's a great place to just connect with people and share best practices and learn from the experts.
Yeah, it's like you said, more intimate. So like people can come up to you and find you in the hallway and ask you questions about your presentation. Well, as I promised, if you would like to register for the event, if you use the code SAVE100, you can save 100 off your registration, and just head over to content.tech and sign up there. Sunny San Diego sounds really good right now. So if I would you, I would head over there and register. All right, Zontee, thank you so much. Thank you everyone for joining us and joining in the conversation, and we will see you next time.